Can a single shot echo through history, shattering silence and rewriting a hidden legacy? Picture this, an old Winchester rifle, its wood and metal worn smooth by decades of quiet duty, looking like a relic against the high-tech gleam of America's fanciest shooting range. And there's Naomi Harris, a 62-year-old black woman with silver hair glinting under the lights, her simple cotton blouse a stark contrast to the thousands of dollars worth of tactical gear flashing around her. Can you believe she's stepping into this lion's den? Colt Reading, all smug in his tailored suit, watches her with a sneer, nudging his cronies as whispers slither through the crowd. Perfect target, perfect joke. They hand her a sabotaged rifle, cameras poised to catch her flop, but oh, they miss the way her hands move with deadly precision, her eyes scanning every detail like a seasoned soldier. Nobody suspects what secret files buried 15 years ago scream loud and clear. This unassuming woman, mocked as grandma with a gun, is the deadliest sniper history's ever known, erased by the government she served. When someone mutters that cruel nickname, Whisper hears it, and after years of silence, she's ready to show these fools what happens when you taunt a ghost. Before we dive back in, drop a comment. Where are you tuning in from today? If this tale of grit and justice is firing you up, hit that subscribe button, because tomorrow's episode is a stunner you won't want to miss. The late afternoon sun spills long golden shadows across the parking lot of Precision Elite, Virginia's swankiest shooting range, where wealth and power strut like peacocks. A beat-up blue Toyota Corolla rolls in, looking like it wandered into the wrong zip code among shiny Porsches, Range Rovers, and Teslas gleaming under the fading light. Behind the wheel, Naomi Harris takes a deep breath, her steady hands adjusting her plain cotton blouse, its soft blue a quiet rebellion against the flash around her. At 62, her silver-streaked hair frames a face etched with wisdom, her calm eyes hiding a storm of secrets. "Aunt Naomi, are you sure about this?" her niece Alana asks, her voice tight with worry. A bright-eyed journalist in her late 20s, Alana's got a fire for justice burning in her chest, her sleek blazer and notepad ready for action. These folks can be downright nasty. Naomi's gentle smile is like a warm hug. "I'm just here to back your story, honey. Don't you fret about me, let's do this." As they approach the ultramodern range, all glass and steel sparkling like a sci-fi fortress, heads swivel their way. The chatter hushes for a heartbeat before picking up again, laced with sly glances. Inside, the air's thick with gun oil leather and the sharp tang of expensive cologne, a world where money talks louder than honor. Display cases gleam with custom rifles pricier than Naomi's modest home, each one a trophy for egos that pay $50,000 a year just to play here. Alana's magazine connection scored them visitor passes, but they're fish out of water in this sea of privilege. "Well, look what the wind blew in." A booming voice cuts through the lounge, dripping with condescension. Colt Reading, ex-Navy SEAL turned CEO of Red Point Weapons Technologies, struts toward them like he owns the place. And with billions in government contracts, doesn't he? His tailored suit strains over his muscular frame, but his ice-blue eyes are cold, his smile a crocodile's grin. At 45, he's the poster boy for ruthless ambition dressed up as patriotism. Why's he so smug? "You must be the journalist," Colt says to Alana, barely flicking a glance at Naomi, like she's invisible. Unexpected +1. He nods at her, his tone sharp as a blade. Alana stands tall, her shoulders squared. "My aunt's an enthusiast. I figured she'd love to see your fancy setup while I dig into my story about who gets to play in these elite spaces." Colt's eyebrow arches, a smirk curling his lip. "Enthusiast, really?" His gaze slides to the weathered leather case in Naomi's hands, its faded surface screaming old school in this high-tech temple. "What's in the antique, ma'am?" "Some family heirloom." Before Naomi can answer, a crowd gathers. Tech tycoons, retired generals, Wall Street sharks, the cream of America's power crop, all itching for a show. "What's brewing here?" "It's a Winchester Model 70, Naomi says softly, her voice steady as steel, made in 1952. Laughter ripples through the group, sharp and cruel. "Hey, Colt!" A ruddy-faced man in pricey tactical gear hollers. "Think she even knows which end the bullet comes out of?" Colt's grin widens, all teeth and no heart. "Ma'am, we've got some cutting-edge gear here, heat-sensitive targets, wind simulators, the whole 9 yards. Maybe you'd be cozier up in the observation deck, sipping tea." Naomi's face stays calm, unreadable, like a still lake hiding depths no one's plumbed. "I'd like to try if that's okay," she says, polite as pie. "Who gave Grandma a gun?" someone mutters, loud enough to sting. Alana's cheeks blaze with fury. How dare they? But Naomi's gentle hand on her arm cools her fire. That quiet nod from Naomi? It's got Colt twitching, like he's misread the battlefield. Your funeral, Colt shrugs, his voice laced with mock pity. We're running a little contest today anyway. Let's head to the premium range. The group surges through heavy security doors into a cavernous indoor range that's pure sci-fi, digital screens flashing distances up to 1,000 yards, robotic arms jerking targets in wild patterns, shooters sporting augmented reality glasses that scream money. One by one, the big shots take their turns. A software billionaire, all swagger, nails 8 out of 10 targets at 200 yards with a $15,000 custom rifle, fancy but sloppy. A hedge fund hotshot with some military chops does a smidge better, preening like he's won the war. Then Colt steps up, wielding a prototype from his own company, a semi-automated beast that tweaks for wind and motion. 9 out of 10 at 300 yards. Not bad for an old man, he quips, soaking up the crowd's chuckles like a king. But who's next? He swings his arm toward Naomi, his grin predatory. Let's see what Grandma's got. Alana leans close, her voice urgent. Aunt Naomi, you don't have to do this. They're setting you up. I know, honey, Naomi replies, her calm unshaken as she opens her leather case. The rifle she pulls out is a stunner in its simplicity, no fancy gadgets, just wood and metal, smoothed by time like a trusted friend. The crowd's jeers grow louder. Look at that old junk. As she checks the weapon with methodical care, loading a single round, her movements fluid, almost sacred. She steps to the firing line, and Colt can't resist a final jab. We've got a betting pool going, he announces, his voice booming. 10 grand says she doesn't hit anything but the floor. The laughter's vicious now, but Naomi?
She's a statue, un phased.
She raises the rifle to her shoulder, and suddenly she's still, so still the room hushes, like the air's holding its breath. Her breathing slows, deliberate, a rhythm only she hears. What's she planning? 15 seconds crawl by, then 20. The crowd shifts, uneasy. Why's she taking so long? Then crack. A single shot splits the silence, echoing like thunder in the high-tech hall. The digital display flashes, a perfect bullseye at 400 yards. Gasps ripple through the onlookers. How'd she do that? Before anyone can blink, Naomi loads another round, fires again, another dead center hit. Beginner's luck, someone grumbles, but their voice wavers. Naomi loads a third round, her aim shifting slightly left of the target. Colt laughs, loud and mean. Here comes the correction. Guess her luck's run dry. But when the shot rings out, the bullet doesn't miss. It slams a steel peg at the range's edge, ricochets to hit another, then a third, before shattering a clay pigeon launched from a trap. The room falls deathly quiet, jaws dropping, eyes wide. Did that just happen? Naomi calmly packs her rifle, her movements as steady as ever. Thank you for the opportunity, she says, her soft voice carrying like a command, slicing through the stunned silence. She turns and walks toward the exit, her stride unhurried, leaving a room full of egos in shambles. Alana scrambles after her, heart pounding. Aunt Naomi, where'd you learn to shoot like that? She gasps as they hit the parking lot, the sunset's orange glow bathing the lot in warmth. Naomi's eyes hold a far-off look, something deep and unspoken flickering in their depths, something Alana's never seen before. It's been a while, honey, she says simply, her voice a whisper of secrets. Let's go. Behind them, through the glass doors, Colt Reading stares, his face tight, not just with anger but with a spark of recognition, and maybe fear. What does he know? The drive home is wrapped in silence, the Corollas hum the only sound as Alana steals glances at her aunt, ing her anew, like a puzzle with missing pieces suddenly snapping into place. Naomi's modest Virginia home, tucked in a quiet suburban neighborhood, reveals nothing out of the ordinary. Family photos on the walls, cozy, worn furniture, a small garden blooming with roses outside the kitchen window. Nothing hints at the woman who just left America's elite marksman speechless. I'll make some tea, Naomi says, hanging her jacket on a hook by the door, her movements as calm as a summer breeze. Aunt Naomi, Alana starts, setting her laptop bag down, her voice firm. What just happened back there? That wasn't just shooting, that was unreal. Naomi fills the kettle, her hands precise, efficient, like they've done this 1,000 times under pressure. You wanted contrast for your story, honey. I think you got it, don't you? That's not what I mean, and you know it. Alana plops at the kitchen table, her journalist instincts on fire. Nobody shoots like that without training. Serious training.
What is the real story?
Naomi's hands pause on the tea canister, just for a heartbeat. Alana catches it, a flicker of something, maybe pain, maybe memory, crossing her aunt's face like a shadow. Everyone's got a past, honey, Naomi says at last, her voice soft but heavy, like it's carrying decades of secrets. Some parts of mine are just quieter than others.
Wanaïr a little.
Mississippi, 1973. The summer heat presses down like a thick blanket, wrapping 10-year-old Naomi in a sweaty hug as she balances on a wooden crate on her grandfather's back porch, the old farm sprawling behind them. William Harris, a wiry man with kind eyes and hands toughened by years of work, adjusts her stance, his voice gentle but firm. That's it, little one. Now, what did I tell you about breathing? Naomi nods, her face serious as a preacher's. Breathe in halfway, breathe out halfway, then hold. Good girl. And the wind.
Watch the trees, if the leaf dance, the bullet dance too.
Her grandpa chuckles, warm and proud. Smart as a whip, just like your grandma was. He points to a row of tin cans lined up on a rickety fence, glinting in the sun. Take your time now. A gun ain't for rushing, it's for patience. Naomi squints down the barrel of an old .22 rifle, her small hand steady, locking on a rusty beam 30 yards off. She breathes, holds, and squeezes the trigger soft as a whisper. Ping. The Ken flies back, a victory song in the humid air. I did it, Grandpa. I did it, she squeals, bouncing with joy. He ruffles her hair, his eyes shining like stars. You sure did, little one. But what's my rule? Naomi recites, proud as can be, a gun's no toy, it's a responsibility. And you never point it at anything you don't mean to destroy. William nods, solemn as a judge. That's right. One day you might need this to feed your family or keep him safe, but I pray it's only ever cans and paper targets for you. Back in the present, Naomi pours steaming water over tea bags, the scent curling up like a memory between them. Grandpa taught me to shoot when I was 10, she says, her voice soft, like she's stepping back in time. He was patient, took his time with me. Alana takes the mug, her eyes narrowing. But Aunt Naomi, what I saw today wasn't just tin can plinking. That was military-grade, sniper-level skill. How'd you get that good? Naomi sips her tea, her gaze steady. I served, honey, you know that. Yeah, you said you were a supply officer, 20 years, retired as a master sergeant. That's what you told us. And that's what my discharge papers say, Naomi replies, but there's a weight in her voice, a hint of something unspoken that makes Alana lean closer, heart racing. What aren't you telling me, Aunt Naomi? What's the truth behind those shots? Naomi rises, her steps quiet as she crosses to a small desk tucked in the corner of her cozy kitchen. From a drawer, she pulls a yellowed newspaper clipping, its edges frayed like old dreams, and hands it to Alana. Local girl shocks county shooting competition. Naomi Harris, 17, outscores adult men to take first prize. The grainy photo shows a teenage Naomi clutching a trophy, her face serious, no smile despite the win. That day changed everything, Naomi says, settling back at the table, her voice low, like she's unearthing a buried treasure. A man came up to me after crew cut, stiff posture, said he was a recruiter. Told me I had a gift, one that shouldn't go to waste. Can you imagine what that meant to a girl like me back then? Rural Mississippi, 1980. The county fairgrounds buzz with life, spectators hollering, competitors strutting, the air thick with cotton candy and dust. 17-year-old Naomi stands out like a beacon, one of only 3 women in the annual shooting competition, and by far the youngest. You sure you're in the right place, girl? A bearded man in a flannel shirt sneers, his eyes raking over her with doubt. Naomi just nods, her jaw set, adjusting her stance at the firing line like she's been doing this her whole life. The course is brutal, fixed targets at different ranges, then moving ones, 20 shots to prove your worth. When the scores are called, the announcer's voice cracks with surprise. First place, Naomi Harris, 98 out of 100. The crowd stunned. How'd a kid beat grown men? As Naomi grips her modest trophy, a tall man in plain clothes steps up, his eyes sharp. Who's this guy? Can a single moment of courage pierce through decades of hidden truth, shattering the lies that buried a hero? Picture this, the dusty roar of the 1980 Mississippi County Fairgrounds, alive with the clamor of a shooting competition, where 17-year-old Naomi Harris, a black girl from a small rural town, stands poised at the firing line. The course is a beast, stationary targets at tricky distances, then moving ones darting like spooked deer, 20 shots to prove you're the real deal. Can you feel the tension? The crowd's buzzing, skeptical eyes boring into Naomi, one of only 3 women competing and the youngest by far. When the scores are tallied, the announcer's voice cracks with disbelief. First place, Naomi Harris, with a score of 98 out of 100. The fairground falls silent. Did a teenager just outshoot grown men? As Naomi grips her modest trophy, her heart pounding, a tall man in civilian clothes steps forward, his eyes sharp as a hawk's. "That was some mighty fine shooting, young lady, especially for your age," he says, his voice smooth but serious. Captain James Miller hands her a card, its edges crisp. "The Army could use talent like yours. We've got programs to hone what you can do." Naomi tucks it away, her mind still spinning from the win, not thinking much of it. Yet 3 months later, with her small town offering no path forward and college a distant dream, she dials that number, her fingers trembling with possibility. What's she stepping into? Back in the present, Alana sets her mug down on Naomi's kitchen table, the tea's steam curling like a question mark between them. "So you enlisted because of your shooting?" she asks, her journalist's nose twitching for a bigger story. Naomi, her silver hair catching the soft light of her cozy Virginia home, nods slowly, her voice low. "Partly, honey. But it was more than that. I wanted a life bigger than what a black girl from rural Mississippi could grab in 1980. Can you imagine feeling trapped like that?" She falls silent, her eyes drifting to some far-off place, a shadow of memory crossing her weathered face. Alana watches, her heart racing. There's a blockbuster hidden here. "What happened after you enlisted, Aunt Naomi? What's the real deal?" Naomi's gaze grows distant, like she's peering through the fog of years. Basic training, advanced training, then sniper school, though they didn't dare call it that for women back then. Alana's jaw drops. Wait, sniper school? But women weren't allowed in combat roles in the 80s. Officially, Naomi agrees, a wry smile tugging her lips, but unofficially? The military's always found ways to use talent when they're desperate, no matter the rules. Isn't that something? Alana yanks out her notebook, her journalist instincts blazing. This is no ordinary story. "I need to understand, Aunt Naomi. Can I dig into your service record? Please." A shadow flickers across Naomi's face, her eyes darkening like a storm rolling in. "You won't find much, honey, not in the official channels." Over the next week, Alana dives into military archives, scouring databases, calling every contact she's got, cashing in favors left and right. What she finds, or doesn't find, chills her to the bone. Naomi's records are there, but they're thin as tissue paper, whole years boiled down to single sentences, commendations mentioned but stripped of details. Even her last base, some place called Camp Freeman, doesn't exist on any official military map. What's being hidden here? When Alana lays her findings before Naomi, the older woman just nods, unsurprised, her voice calm but heavy. "They were thorough, Alana. Had to be." "Who's they?" Alana presses, leaning forward, her heart thumping. "What were you mixed up in, Aunt Naomi?" Naomi stares out the kitchen window, the darkening Virginia sky reflecting in her eyes, her silence stretching like a taut wire. Finally she speaks, her voice edged with steel. "Ever heard of Black Echo?" Alana shakes her head, her pen hovering. "Good. That means they did their job." Naomi's tone sharpens, like a blade unsheathed. Black Echo was a unit that didn't exist, made up of soldiers who didn't exist, doing things that never happened. Can you wrap your head around that? Alana's eyes widen. "A Black Ops unit." "More than that, honey. We were the ones too hot to handle, women when women weren't supposed to fight, people of color, too visible for the usual special forces, folks whose very existence would have sparked a firestorm of questions about military policy." Alana's scribbling furiously now. How deep does this go? Fort Benning, 1982. Naomi stands ramrod straight, the only woman and one of just 3 black soldiers in a specialized training group, sweat beading on her brow under the Georgia sun. Her shots outscore most of the men, but she's passed over time and again, stuck in support roles, her talent buried under bureaucracy. Why won't they see her? Until one day. After nailing another perfect qualification, Colonel Raymond Jackson pulls her aside, his voice low, urgent. "Private Harris," he says, his eyes scanning hers. "Your files caught some attention. I'll be blunt, the Army doesn't know what to do with a woman like you." "Sir." Naomi's voice is steady, but her heart sinks. Another dead end? A woman with your skills stirs up trouble, administrative headaches. Some think you'd be better off behind a desk. Her stomach twists, but she holds her ground, chin high. "But," Jackson goes on, his tone shifting, "others see talent shouldn't be wasted over politics. I'm authorized to offer you a different path, unofficial, tough, maybe dangerous, but your skills would shine." Naomi's pulse quickens. "What kind of path, sir?" "One that doesn't exist on paper. You'd run missions that never happened, your wins never bragged about." He studies her, searching for cracks. "Most folks crave glory, Harris medals, parades. If that's you, walk away now." Naomi thinks of her grandpa's words: responsibility, purpose, doing what's right. "Will I be helping people, sir?" she asks, her voice firm. Jackson nods slowly, respect in his eyes. "In ways few others can, soldier." "Then I don't need the glory," Naomi declares, her heart set on a path cloaked in shadows. What's she signing up for? Black Echo, Naomi tells her stunned niece, her voice low, like she's unearthing a grave, worked worldwide, but off every radar, rescue missions, intel grabs, target eliminations when regular forces couldn't touch it. Political messes, deniable ops, that's where they sent us. Alana's pen flies across her notebook. "How many missions, Aunt Naomi?" "Classified, honey." "For how long?" 15 years. Alana's head snaps up, eyes wide. 15 years of secret missions, no medals, no nothing? How'd you stand it? Naomi's voice hardens, a steel core showing through. "That was the deal, Alana, until it wasn't." "What broke that deal?" Before Alana can dig deeper, her phone buzzes, slicing through the quiet kitchen, an email with a subject, about Naomi Harris. The message holds just one blurry photo, a younger Naomi, maybe 40, in desert camo, cradling a child wrapped in a blanket, smoke and flames raging behind her. Her rifle slung across her back, but her face? Calm as a still pond amidst chaos. "What's this?" Alana whispers, turning the phone to Naomi, her heart racing. Naomi's face freezes, her breath catching. Kandahar, 2004. Classified op hostage rescue. She takes a deep breath, her eyes locked on the image. Someone's breaking silence. "That's trouble, honey." Alana's voice shakes. "Who'd send this? Why now?" "I don't know," Naomi murmurs, studying the photo like it's a ghost, "but someone's sending us a message, loud and clear." Across town, in a sleek penthouse office towering over the Virginia skyline, Colt Reading huddles over a screen, replaying the Precision Elite shooting range footage frame by frame. Naomi's every move, her steady breath, her flawless trigger pull, burns into his brain. "Run it through recognition again," he barks at his security chief, his voice tight with fury. "Sir, we've tried." Harris, Naomi, Master Sergeant, U.S. Army, retired 2005, Supply Logistics. "Nothing odd." "Bullshit." Colt slams his fist on the desk, the sound echoing like a gunshot. "Nobody in supply shoots like that. Nobody." His eyes narrow, a dark memory stirring. "What's he chasing?" "Sir," the chief ventures, uneasy. "Access my personal files." Colt snaps, his voice low, dangerous. Operation Sandstorm, 2005. Cross-reference with call sign whisper. The chief hesitates, sweat beading. "Sir, those files are sealed by Pentagon order. Even looking could, just do it." Colt growls, his gaze locked on the frozen image of Naomi's face mid-shot, that impossible ricochet that silenced a room. "I know who you are," he whispers to the screen, his voice a venomous promise. "I just can't prove it yet." What's he so afraid of? That evening, as Naomi chops vegetables for dinner in her cozy kitchen, The soft hum of normalcy shattered by a plain envelope sliding under her front door. No postmark, no address. Inside, a single rifle cartridge gleams, the kind used for long-range precision shots, and beneath it, a handwritten note, "You're not the only one they erased." Naomi holds the bullet to the light, her hands, steady as stone at the range, trembling now just a flicker. Alana, catching the moment from the doorway, gasps. "Who sent that, Aunt Naomi?" "Someone from the past," Naomi replies, her voice quiet, haunted, "someone who knows what's coming." "What does that mean? What's coming?" Naomi tucks the bullet and note into her pocket, her eyes hardening. "War, honey," she says, simple and chilling, "of a very specific kind." What kind of war is she bracing for? She turns to the kitchen window, staring into the darkening Virginia sky, the suburban street outside deceptively calm. "They've spent 20 years pretending I don't exist," she murmurs, her voice steel wrapped in velvet. "Now they're about to remember why." Naomi's jaw-dropping display at Precision Elite has spread like wildfire through hushed circles, whispers of her skill reaching Colt Reading's corner office, where he broods over a dossier on Naomi Harris, frustratingly incomplete. "Sir, the event set for Saturday," his assistant says from the doorway, voice crisp. "We've locked down streaming rights through Battlesphere." Colt nods, eyes never leaving the file. "And our special guest?" "Ms. Harris got the invitation this morning. Her niece confirmed they're coming." A cold, predatory smile curls Colt's lips. "Perfect. What's he plotting?" The invitation arrives at Naomi's home, heavy cardstock gleaming with gold embossing, a veterans' honor shooting competition to benefit wounded warriors, naming Naomi as a distinguished guest to be honored for her service. But what's it hiding? Alana eyes it at the kitchen table, her gut twisting. "I don't like this, Aunt Naomi. Why's Colt inviting you after you smoked his range? What's his game?" Naomi sips her coffee, thoughtful, her silver hair catching the morning light. Either he's trying to make nice, or it's a trap. She sets her mug down, her voice calm but firm. "I'm betting on the second." "Then why go? Why walk into it?" Alana's voice rises, worry sharp. Naomi's eyes meet hers, steady as a sniper's aim. "Because sometimes, honey, you gotta spring the trap to catch the trapper. Isn't that the only way to expose a snake?" The event is a spectacle, hosted at Redpoint Technologies' private testing grounds, decked out in red, white, and blue bunting, corporate logos screaming money. A select crowd, powerful, champagne-sipping elites, mingles, their chatter all weapons and deals, the air electric with ambition. When Naomi and Alana arrive, cameras swivel their way, lenses glinting like predators' eyes. Colt approaches, all fake charm, his hand outstretched. "Ms. Harris, so glad you made it," he booms, his voice loud for the mics, his ice-blue eyes cold as ever. "We're honored to have a veteran like you today." Naomi shakes his hand, her face neutral, giving nothing away. "Thank you, Mr. Reading," she says, polite but cool. Why's he playing nice? "Call me Colt," he insists, gesturing to an assistant with a slick smile. "We've got a special spot for you in the program, but first, a little gift." The assistant presents a polished wooden box, and inside, a shiny trophy gleams, its plate engraved, "In recognition of service and participation." Cameras flash, but Alana catches Naomi's subtle flinch at that word. Participation asterisk. Not skill, not excellence. What's Colt up to? "And now," Colt goes on, his voice smooth as poison, "we'd love for you to show your expertise for our guests and viewers at home." He points to the shooting range. "We've got a special rifle just for you." A technician steps up with a sleek Redpoint Precision X9, the company's pride and joy, its high-tech sheen screaming superiority. Naomi's eyes narrow, a flicker of suspicion. Did they tamper with it? "This is too generous," she says, her voice careful, testing. "Only the best for our veterans." Colt replies, his grin too wide. "The audience is waiting, Ms. Harris." The range is rigged for drama, cameras catching every angle, a digital display showing a target at 500 yards, tough, but not impossible for Naomi's skill. The crowd hushes as she takes her place, Alana watching from the sidelines, her gut screaming, something's off. The technician smirks, Colt's hungry stare. What's the trap? Naomi raises the rifle, her stance perfect, her breath steady. She aims, fires, and the shot goes wide, missing the target completely. A murmur ripples through the crowd. Did she choke? Naomi frowns, adjusts, fires again, another miss, even worse. Laughter starts, soft then loud, slicing the air like knives. Colt's smile stretches, cruel and triumphant. Maybe modern gear's a bit much for what you're used to, he calls, his voice dripping with mock pity, loud enough for all to hear. How could Naomi miss so badly? Naomi runs her fingers along the barrel, checks the scope, her face calm but her eyes flashing with realization, rigged. To the crowd she looks lost, swamped by tech, but Alana sees the truth, her aunt knows. Thank you for the opportunity, Naomi says, her voice echoing her first range triumph, but this time, it's drowned in jeers. Colt grabs the rifle, all swagger. Let me show you how it's done. 3 shots, asterisk bam 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 asterisk, all perfect bullseyes. The crowd roars, clapping like he's a god. Don't feel bad, he tells Naomi, his false sympathy venomous. These systems are for pros. The humiliation stings, cameras catching every second of Naomi's so-called failure. Why is she staying so calm? As they leave, Alana's fuming, her voice hot with rage. He set you up, Aunt Naomi. That rifle was sabotaged, wasn't it? Naomi strides to the car, her steps even, her face unreadable under the Virginia sunset. Barrel was off, scope misaligned, yep. We've gotta expose him. I can write, not yet. Naomi cuts her off, her voice firm, a general's command. But he humiliated you. That video's already viral, Granny with a gun is everywhere. Naomi's calm holds, a rock in a storm. Let them laugh, honey. Arrogance makes folks sloppy. Don't you see? Alana's eyes blaze. How can you stand it? Millions are mocking you. Naomi turns, her gaze fierce, burning with a fire Alana's never seen.
They don't get it, Alana. What est-ce qui était d'indis?
And I'm just getting started. What's her next move? How can a moment of calculated cruelty spark a fire that burns through decades of buried secrets? Picture the sting of betrayal hanging heavy in the Virginia twilight as Naomi Harris and her niece Alana storm away from Redpoint Technologies' glitzy event, the jeers of the crowd still ringing in their ears. Alana's fuming, her journalist's heart blazing with outrage. He set you up, Aunt Naomi. That rifle was rigged, wasn't it? She demands, her voice sharp as a whip. Naomi strides toward their modest blue Corolla, her step steady despite the humiliation, her silver hair catching the fading sunset's glow. Barrel was off-center, scope misaligned, yep, she confirms, her tone calm, like she's noting the weather. Alana's jaw drops. How can she be so cool? We've got to expose Colt Reading. I can write the story, blow this wide open. No. Naomi cuts her off, her voice firm, a quiet command that stops Alana cold. Not yet, honey. But he humiliated you in front of everyone. Alana cries, her hands flailing. That video's already viral, Granny with a gun is trending everywhere. Doesn't that burn you up? Naomi's expression stays serene, a still lake hiding a raging current. Let them laugh, Alana. Arrogance makes folks careless, don't you see? Alana halts by the car, her eyes blazing. How can you be so composed? Don't you care that millions are mocking you right now? Naomi turns, her gaze suddenly fierce, a fire that could scorch the earth. They don't get it, honey, war's quieter than this. What does she mean by that? Her words hang between them, heavy with a truth Alana can't quite grasp, like a shadow just out of reach. Across town, in his sleek penthouse office overlooking the Virginia skyline, Colt Reading lounges in his leather chair, replaying the footage of Naomi's failure, with a smug grin splitting his face. His security chief stands nearby, all professional detachment, but Colt's practically glowing. Mission accomplished, sir, the chief says, his voice clipped. That video's blowing up online, her reputation's toast. Colt shakes his head, his ice-blue eyes narrowing. This was just step one. If she's who I think, this won't stop her, it might not even slow her down. The chief raises an eyebrow, skeptical. Who do you think she is, exactly, sir? Colt swivels, pulling up a classified file on his private server, his fingers flying over the keyboard. During my last deployment, there were whispers about a sniper, call sign Whisper. Never saw her face, never heard her voice, but her style? Unmistakable, shots no one else dared try. The brass swore she was a myth, a combat legend. His face hardens, a dark memory surfacing. But I saw her work in Congo, 2005, up close. What's got him so rattled? You think this 62-year-old woman is some mythical sniper? The chief asks, his tone dripping doubt. I think, Colt growls, leaning forward, she's the deadliest shot in modern military history. If I'm right, exposing her, eliminating her, will lock Redpoint's grip on the AI weapons market. Eliminating. The chief shifts, uneasy, his voice tightening. Sir, that sounds like business. Colt snaps, cutting him off, his grin cold as steel. Our new targeting system needs a showstopper debut. What's better than crushing a legend no one could prove, the ghost sniper, unmasked and outdone by tech? He slams the file shut, his eyes glinting with ambition. Put a tail on her. I want every move tracked. Why's he so obsessed with Naomi? That evening, Naomi stands in her modest backyard, the quiet Virginia night wrapping around her like a cloak. 50 yards away, a coffee mug perches on a fence post, glinting faintly under the stars. The only sound is the hum of distant traffic, but Naomi's focus is razor-sharp. She raises her old Winchester, it's worn with a familiar friend, takes a slow breath, and fires, *crack*. The mug's handle shatters clean off, the cup standing untouched. Alana, inside the cozy house, paces with her phone pressed to her ear, grilling a contact, retired Colonel Marcus Mendoza, a Special Forces legend. Colonel, I'm digging into a story about early 2000s covert units. Ever hear of Black Echo? She asks, her voice urgent. A long, heavy silence stretches over the line. Where'd you hear that name, Miss Jenkins? Mendoza finally replies, his voice cautious, like he's stepping on glass. What's he hiding? I'm looking into Naomi Harris's military past. She mentioned, stop. Mendoza cuts her off, his tone sharp. Not over the phone. Meet me tomorrow, Willow Street Coffee Shop, 10 a.m. He pauses, his voice dropping. And Miss Jenkins, if Harris is who I think, be careful who you tell, especially if Colt Reading's involved. Alana's heart skips. How'd you know about Reading? Because he's been hunting her for years. The line goes dead, leaving Alana stunned. She turns to find Naomi in the doorway, her Winchester in hand, silver hair glowing under the kitchen light.
Colonel Mendoza.
Naomi asks, her voice low. You heard? Alana nods, breathless. I did. Naomi sets the rifle down with care, her movements deliberate. He was one of the few who knew the truth about Black Echo. If he's talking now, things are worse than I thought. What kind of danger is looming? What do you mean, Aunt Naomi? Alana presses, her voice trembling. The rules were ironclad, no acknowledgement, ever. If Mendoza's ready to meet, he thinks staying silent is riskier than speaking out. Naomi glides to the window, her eyes scanning the quiet suburban street outside, its manicured lawns hiding secrets. We're being watched. Alana joins her, squinting into the dusk. I don't see anything. Dark sedan, 2 blocks down. It's been there since we got back. Naomi steps back, her voice calm but urgent. Pack a bag, essentials only. We're leaving in an hour. Alana's eyes widen. Where are we going? Somewhere I should have gone back to ages ago. Naomi's tone is final, a soldier's resolve. Where's she taking them? The next morning, in a cozy Willow Street coffee shop, Colonel Mendoza sits ramrod straight, his 70 years doing nothing to dim his military edge. His silver hairs cropped short, his eyes darting like a hawk's, scanning every corner. Thanks for meeting me, Colonel. Alana begins, her notebook ready. I'm not here for you. Mendoza snaps, his bluntness cutting like a knife. I'm here because if Naomi Harris is back on anyone's radar, folks need warning. Warning about what? She's my aunt, retired Army. Your aunt, Mendoza interrupts, leaning forward, his voice low, is the most dangerous person I ever worked with, and I ran ops with Delta Force and SEAL Team 6. Alana's breath catches. What's he saying? If she's tied to this Redpoint mess, tell Colt Reading one thing from me, if she's Whisper, she's deadlier than anyone he's ever faced. Who's this whisper? Whose whisper? Alana presses, her pen trembling. Mendoza's face darkens, his voice dropping to a growl. A ghost. 32 confirmed long-range kills, probably double that unconfirmed. She hit targets other snipers called impossible. He sips his coffee, eyes never still. After Congo, the brass wanted her buried. Too many questions about a woman in combat, too many about civilian deaths she didn't cause. What went down in Congo? Alana asks, her heart pounding. Classified. Mendoza snaps, but softens slightly. I'll say this, Colt Reading was there. His intel was bad, people died who shouldn't have. Whisper saved who she could. Alana leans back, reeling, what kind of past is this? You think my aunt's this whisper? Mendoza stands, his coffee half gone, buttoning his coat. I don't think anything officially. Whisper never existed, Black Echo never existed. But if she's who I suspect, and Reading's after her, he trails off, his eyes grim. God help him. What's Naomi up against? Unseen, a bearded man in worn jeans and a leather jacket sits nearby, his face half hidden by sunglasses, a newspaper shielding his intent. His focus is locked on Alana and Mendoza's hushed talk. When Mendoza leaves, the man folds his paper, trailing the colonel at a distance. Outside, he watches Mendoza's car vanish, then pulls a burner phone. She surfaced, he murmurs, voice low. Reading's hunting her. The gruff voice on the other end asks, sure it's her. Whisper, it's her. I'd know that profile anywhere. He glances back at the coffee shop, where Alana lingers. What's the play, Ranger? Protect and observe. I'll be in touch. Who's this mystery man? Across town, Naomi packs her modest SUV, her movements swift, precise, like a soldier prepping for battle. Her phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number, watch the noon announcement. Things are speeding up. At noon sharp, Redpoint Technologies drops a slick video across every major network and streaming site. Colt Reading, polished as a politician, stands before a futuristic weapons display, his suit screaming power. Today we unveil the future of precision targeting, the Aura 7 AI combat system, he declares, his voice booming. This game-changer outshoots any human sniper, wiping out error and emotion from the battlefield. The camera pans to a sleek drone, its rifle system gleaming like a predator's teeth. To prove Aura 7's dominance, we're challenging any marksman, military or civilian. Next week, at our Virginia proving grounds, it'll face human snipers in the toughest precision test ever. His smile turns feral. We're especially eager for veterans with unique skills, overlooked by old-school systems. The taunt's crystal clear, a dare aimed straight at Naomi, at Whisper. Why's he baiting her? Naomi watches on her phone, her face unreadable, a fortress of calm. She deletes the text and keeps loading the SUV, her silver hair catching the midday sun. We're still leaving? Alana asks, lugging a small suitcase, her voice edged with worry. Now more than ever. Naomi replies, her tone ironclad. As they pull away from her quiet Virginia home, its manicured lawn fading in the rear view, Naomi drives with purpose, heading west toward the Blue Ridge Mountains. A dark sedan, parked 2 blocks back, creeps after them, its driver's eyes hidden behind tinted glass. After an hour, Naomi guns the engine, weaving through a small town streets, then doubles back on a forest road with surgical precision. The tail's gone in minutes, lost in her dust. How'd you do that? Alana gasps, checking the empty road behind. Never mind. Where are we going now? Somewhere I pray still stands. Naomi says, turning onto an unmarked dirt road snaking into the Appalachian wilds. What's waiting there? A log and stone cabin emerges from the trees, nearly invisible, its weathered walls blending with the forest. Its small porch and narrow windows scream defense, built for watching, not welcoming. What is this place? Alana asks as they park, her voice hushed. Safe house. Black Echo kept a few scattered across the country. Naomi replies, fishing a key from under a specific stone in the path. Haven't been here in 15 years. Let's hope the protocol's held. Inside, the cabin's sparse, dusty but intact, like a time capsule. Naomi heads straight to a bookshelf, pulling out the art of war. Behind it, a keypad gleams. She punches in a code, and the floor slides open, revealing a ladder to a hidden bunker. "Come on," she says, descending into the dark. "What's down there?" The bunker's a marvel, climate-controlled, pristine, with walls lined by locked weapon cases, maps, photos, filing cabinets, and a communications hub. Alana's jaw drops. This has been here the whole time. Black Echo ran independent. We needed gear they couldn't cut off.
Naomi au pan à cabinet, pulling à folder Labled, personnel classifié.
She spreads its contents on a table, photos and dossiers of a dozen faces, each burning with purpose. "My team," she says softly, her voice heavy, "the ones they erased." Alana scans the images, men and women, diverse, but all sharing Naomi's fierce focus. What happened to them? Some fell in the field, some vanished into civilian life, others, Naomi's voice hardens, were eliminated when they got too inconvenient. She points to a photo of a sharp-eyed man. "Thomas Reed, call sign Ranger, my best spotter, officially killed in action, 2006. Her finger moves. "Maria Delgado, cipher, comms genius, training accident, 2007.
James Wilson, Shadow, infiltration expert, suicide, 2008.
Why's her voice shaking? "You don't buy those stories." Alana says, her journalist's nose twitching. "I know they're lies." Naomi snaps, opening another folder, Congo, 2005. This is where it all unraveled. The file's thick with redacted briefings, but one name pops up in the margins: Colt Reading. "He was our CIA liaison," Naomi explains, her voice steady but her eyes blazing with pain. "Gave us intel on a warlord using child soldiers. We went in trusting his word." Her gaze betrays a wound that never healed. That intel was wrong, deliberately wrong. What did Colt do to her team? Can a single act of defiance against a web of lies spark a blaze that lights up the truth hidden for decades? Imagine the sting of betrayal as Naomi Harris reveals the heart-wrenching deception of Congo, 2005, her voice steady but her eyes burning with the pain of a wound that never healed. Why would Colt Reading do that? Alana gasps, her journalist's heart pounding in the dim light of a secluded Blue Ridge Mountains cabin. Naomi's hand tightens on the classified folder, her knuckles whitening as she speaks, her words heavy with fury and sorrow. Because that warlord wasn't just a thug, he was a government official running a black market racket that lined American pockets. Reading was shielding him. "We were sent to take out a decoy, Alana, a lie." Can you feel her rage? "When I saw through his deception, I scrapped the mission's target and rerouted to save those kids forced to fight as soldiers. Against orders, against every rule, a direct violation of everything Black Echo stood for. But how could I leave those children to die?" Naomi slams the folder shut, the sound echoing like a gunshot in the quiet cabin. After that, Black Echo was shut down, records wiped clean. Some of us got cover identities, shuffled back to regular army life. Others? They weren't so lucky. What happened to them? She reaches into her pocket, pulling out the rifle cartridge left at her door, its cold metal glinting in the lamplight. This round? It's Ranger's, used only by him. If he's alive and reaching out now, it means one thing. Alana leans forward, her voice trembling. "What, Aunt Naomi?"
Va.
Naomi says, her voice chillingly simple. "And Colt Reading's the target." Night cloaks the cabin in Appalachian darkness, the mountain air thick with secrets. Naomi's already checked the perimeter, her silver hair catching moonlight as she sets motion sensors from the bunker's stash and preps defensive positions like a ghost ready for battle. Now she sits by the window, a cup of tea cooling beside her, her rifle close, its worn with a silent partner. Alana huddles at the cabin's small table, her notes scattered, piecing together her aunt's shadowy past like a puzzle with missing edges. "Why'd you go to Reading's event, Aunt Naomi?" she asks, her voice soft but urgent. "You had to know it was a trap." Naomi doesn't turn from the window, her eyes scanning the inky forest. "I needed to know his game, honey. Now I'm sure, he wants to flush me out, force me to show myself, then crush me with his AI system." Alana's brow furrows. "Why? What's he after?" "Money and power." Naomi's voice sharpens. If his Aura 7 can outshoot the legendary Whisper, every military on the planet will beg for it. Plus, it's personal. I humiliated him in Congo by exposing his lie. Men like reading? They don't forgive that. A soft beep from Naomi's phone slices the quiet, her face tightening as she checks it. "Kill the lights," she orders, her voice low but urgent. "Now." Alana scrambles, plunging the cabin into darkness, her heart racing. "What's wrong?" she whispers, fear creeping in. "Motion sensors, 3 hits, south approach, pro pattern." Naomi glides to her rifle, checking the magazine with eerie calm. "Get to the bunker, lock the hatch." "I'm not leaving you." Alana protests, her voice fierce. "This ain't a debate." Naomi's tone is steel, unyielding. "Bunker now." Reluctantly, Alana descends the ladder, securing the hatch, her breath shallow as she strains to hear through the air vents. What's happening up there? 4 agonizing minutes, silence reigns, then a faint creak on the porch sends her heart into overdrive. The cabin door eases open, hinges whispering betrayal. Footsteps, multiple, stealthy, move like predators. A voice, barely audible, hisses, "Clear the corners. She's here somewhere." What follows is a chilling dance of violence, played out in near silence. A thud, a choked gasp, a body hitting the floor. A scuffle in another room ends with a sharp crack. 2 suppressed gunshots, mere coughs in the night, then stillness, heavy as death. 10 minutes later, the hatch creaks open, and Naomi descends, a small cut above her eye the only sign of the storm she weathered. "It's safe," she says, her voice steady, like she's just finished a chore. Alana's eyes widen. How is she so calm? Upstairs, Alana's stomach lurches at the sight of 3 men in tactical gear sprawled across the floor, unconscious or worse, their weapons neatly stacked. Naomi's already rifling through their gear, pulling a satellite phone from one's pocket. "Mercenaries," she mutters, her voice hard. "Private contractors, high-end ones." Alana stammers, Are they?" 2 out cold, 1 dead. "He didn't give me a choice." Naomi's tone is flat, no apology, just cold fact. "Reading's men, sent to track us, probably to kill us if it was easy." She slaps a handwritten note on the squad leader's chest. "Wrong house. Next time, I shoot first." Alana's heart pounds. Who is this woman? "We gotta move." Naomi says, her voice urgent. "This place is burned." "Where to?" Alana asks, reeling. "Deeper into the mountains. I've got one more spot." Naomi packs with ruthless efficiency, grabbing essentials and key bunker files. "We need to be gone before their check-in." As they load the SUV, Alana struggles to reconcile her gentle aunt with this lethal warrior. "How many times have you done this?" she asks, voice shaking as they drive off, headlights dark, moonlight guiding them. "Done what?" "Taken out a tactical team, alone, in the pitch black." Naomi's silent for a beat, her silver hair ghostly in the gloom. "Enough times it's muscle memory, honey." How does she live with that? 3 hours and countless backroad twists later, they reach a smaller cabin, tucked into a ravine, nearly invisible unless you know its secrets. Its clear sight lines and escape routes scream survival. Naomi secures the perimeter, her movements swift, before hauling in supplies. Inside, she rotates a specific hearthstone, revealing a hidden room behind the fireplace. No bunker, but a treasure trove of Naomi's past. Medals never awarded, photos of her team in far-flung war zones, handwritten mission logs to dodge digital eyes, and her prized Macmillan TAC 338 sniper rifle, gleaming in perfect condition. "This is the real me," Naomi says, her voice raw, watching Alana take it in. "Not the aunt who baked your birthday cakes, not the VA volunteer." Alana's eyes linger on a photo of a younger Naomi with 4 soldiers, grinning despite desert heat. "Your team. What was left by 2004? "That's Ranger," Naomi points to the man from the dossier, Maria James Eric. "What happened to Eric?" Naomi's face softens, a rare crack in her armor. "Heart attack, 3 years back, the only one who died natural." Why's her voice catching? She turns from the photo, her hand trembling slightly. "After Congo we swore a pact, if any of us were exposed or hunted, the others would come. But after Maria and James, her voice hardens, I thought no one was left. She pulls the bullet from her pocket, its weight heavy with meaning. Until this showed up. A vehicle's rumble snaps them to alert. Naomi darts to a window, rifle ready, her breath hitching as a tall bearded figure approaches, moving with soldier's precision. It's him, she gasps. Who? Alana whispers, heart racing. Ranger. Naomi flings the door open before he can knock, and for a long electric moment, they stare, two ghosts from a buried past, reunited after 15 years. Whisper, he rasps, his voice thick with emotion. You're supposed to be dead. So are you, she shoots back, a faint smile cracking her stoic mask. She steps aside, no hugs, just the quiet nod of warriors who've seen too much. What brought him here? Inside, Ranger nods to Alana, his weathered face unreadable. The journalist niece. You've been stirring up trouble. This is Thomas Reed, Naomi introduces, her voice steady, ex-master sergeant, Army Rangers before Black Echo nabbed him. Just Ranger now, he corrects, his voice gruff. Haven't been Reed since 2006. He slaps a file on the table, surveillance shots of Colt Reading, Red Point blueprints, Aura 7 specs. He's got a $5 million bounty on you, Whisper, private channels only, if you're taken out during his big show. Aura 7's price skyrockets. His eyes darken. But it's not just cash for him, it's personal. Congo. Naomi nods, her jaw tight. More than that. I'm the loose end tying him to Black Echo's lies, his bad intel, the civilian deaths he caused. Ranger sinks into a chair, heavy with memory. He's hunted us for years, got Maria in Venezuela, James in Oregon, nearly nabbed me in Alaska. I've been a ghost since. Why's Reading so relentless? He studies Naomi, his gaze piercing. Why surface now? Why risk that shooting range? I didn't. Naomi says, her voice firm. Alana dragged me there for her story, pure chance. No such thing in our world, Whisper. Ranger turns to Alana, his voice sharp. Who picked that range for your piece? Alana thinks back, her heart sinking. My editor. Said it was perfect for my elite hobby story. Name. William Brandt. Naomi and Ranger exchange a look, heavy with meaning. What? Alana asks, fear creeping in. Brandt died in 2010. Ranger says, his voice low. Ex-CIA, worked with Reading in Africa. Someone's been playing you, kid. Alana's face pales. She was bait to lure Naomi out. I'm so sorry, she whispers, horrified. I didn't know. Not your fault. Naomi soothes, her voice warm but urgent. But it means Reading's been scheming for years. We're on borrowed time. She moves to her weapon case, checking her rifle with a soldier's focus. I don't need fancy tech, she says, her voice fierce. I am the weapon. Alana straightens, her fear giving way to resolve. What's the plan? Ranger asks, leaning in. Reading wants Whisper. He'll get her, but on my terms. Naomi says, loading her rifle with deadly grace. You can't just waltz into his fortress. Ranger warns. I won't. Naomi replies, her eyes glinting. But I'll tell my story, the real story. She turns to Alana, her voice commanding. That's where you come in, honey. Alana's spine stiffens. What do you need? Write it all, Black Echo, Congo, the cover-up. But make it fiction. Fiction. Alana blinks, confused. A novel about a sniper erased from history. Call it Whisper in the Wind. Publish it anonymously, it keeps us safe while spilling the truth. Ranger shakes his head. It won't stop him. No, Naomi agrees, her voice steel, but it's a spark to distract him while we plan the real fight. She glances at her team's photo, then grips her rifle. You buried me alive, Colt, she whispers, her voice a vow. Ready for my resurrection? As night deepens, the trio dives into planning, Alana crafting fiction from classified truths, Ranger securing veteran allies, and Naomi Whisper, gearing up for a showdown 15 years in the making. Who'll hunt who? Dawn breaks over the mountains, casting golden light across the cabin, where coffee cups clutter the table beside maps, blueprints, and scribbled notes. Alana's laptop glows with the final draft of Whisper in the Wind, the untold story of America's lethal ghost. It's done, she says, rubbing her tired eyes. Sent to 3 indie publishers under a fake name, no trace back to me. Naomi leans over, her silver hair catching the morning sun, reading the title page with a nod. Will it work, Aunt Naomi? Alana asks, doubt creeping in. Can a story change the game? Can a whisper of truth ignite a wildfire that burns through a fortress of lies? Imagine the electric buzz as Whisper in the Wind explodes across the internet, its pages whispering secrets that shake the very foundations of power. Ranger leans back in the dim glow of the Blue Ridge Mountains cabin, his weathered face lit by the flicker of his burner phone, a sly grin breaking through his gruff exterior. People love conspiracy theories about secret government ops, he declares, checking for updates with a flick of his thumb. Especially when there's a grain of truth to him. Don't you feel it spreading? Naomi nods, her silver hair catching the lamplight, her eyes sharp as a sniper's scope. The veterans'll know. They've heard the rumors for years, that invisible sniper, those impossible shots. They'll see the truth, even dressed up as fiction. Can you feel the pulse of recognition? Within 48 hours, digital copies of Alana's novel race through veteran forums, military message boards, and shadowy chat groups, first scoffed at as a tall tale but soon gaining traction as details hit too close to home, specific ops, obscure locations, tactics never leaked to the public. How could a story feel so real? A retired sergeant major in Kansas types with trembling fingers, I was in Fallujah, 2004, saw that insane shot from page 83. Always wondered who pulled it off, now I know. A former intelligence officer posts, her words heavy, that Congo op wasn't made up. I handled those reports. The phrase Whisper Lives surges through encrypted military forums, spreading like a wildfire through the networks of those who served, their hearts pounding with validation. At Redpoint Technology's sleek Virginia headquarters, Colt Reading glares at his tablet, his face twisted with fury as his security chief briefs him, voice tight. The story's gone viral in military circles, sir. Vets are saying it backs up rumors they've heard forever. The chief swipes to another screen, hesitating. And that team we sent to the mountains? Neutralized, 1 dead, 2 badly hurt. Colt's eyes blaze. How dare she outmaneuver him? He hurls the tablet across his plush office, the crash echoing like a gunshot. She's playing me, he roars. What? The chief asks, startled. This is her game, stirring up noise, planting whispers, keeping me on edge. Colt paces, his tailored suit straining, his ice-blue eyes wild. She's trying to shake me before the weapons expo. Can you believe her nerve? The chief shifts, uneasy. Should we delay, sir? No way. Colt snaps, yanking his tie straight, his composure clawing back. We speed up. Move the demo to next week, max security, and unleash Aura 7. The prototype's not fully tested. It's ready enough to hunt one woman. Colt spins to the wall of screens showing Redpoint's sprawling compound, his voice a low growl. Feed it everything, Congo footage, her shooting patterns, psych profile. I want it to know her better than she knows herself. What's driving his obsession? Deep in the Virginia forest, Naomi glides between trees like a phantom, her silver hair tucked under a cap, her movements silent as the call sign she earned whisper. 200 yards back, the sleek Aura 7 drone hovers, its sensors scouring for heat, motion, anything to pin her down. It locked onto her trail 3 hours ago, triggered by a traffic cam near Roanoke, and now it's a deadly game of cat and mouse. Can she outwit a machine? Naomi moves downwind, leaving false tracks, her every step a masterclass in deception. She's dodged electronic eyes before, wading through streams to hide her heat, using rocks to block sensors, setting traps to fool tech. The drone adapts, learning her tricks, but Naomi's 1 step ahead, shifting tactics each time it recalibrates. Back at the cabin, Ranger hunches over his laptop, hacking the drone's feed, his voice crackling through Naomi's subdermal earpiece. It's tightening its sweep, coming from the East Ridge, he warns, his fingers flying. Copy. Naomi whispers, her lips barely moving, her breath steady. Time for the heart trick. She pulls a small device from her pocket, a pulse simulator rigged from bunker gear, set to mimic her heartbeat. She tucks it under a fallen log, drapes her jacket over it, and slips away, a ghost in the trees. What's she planning? Aura 7 zeroes in on the fake heartbeat, its sensors locking on the decoy's pulse and heat. As it hovers, puzzled by the lack of a body, Naomi circles behind, her eyes dissecting its sleek frame, its whirring systems. Gotcha! She sub-vocalizes to Ranger. It's an EX-72 platform, weak spots at the sensor junctions. The drone lingers over her jacket, processors grinding, and Naomi vanishes, gathering critical intel. She's nearly a mile away when the drone clocks the ruse, but the forest's too thick for it to follow. At the cabin, Alana scans news feeds, tracking Whisper in the Winchester wildfire spread, while Ranger keeps Naomi's line open. A laptop ping jolts her, a secure message from Colonel Mendoza. Been waiting for this, it reads, with a file listing 7 ex-military contacts tied to Black Echo, some already whispering cryptic nods to the novel. The old guard's waking up. Alana tells Ranger, her voice electric. Mendoza's rallying them. Ranger's grizzled face cracks with hope, his eyes gleaming. Good. We'll need 'em. This was never a 3-person job. Can they build an army from shadows? Naomi returns at dusk, mud-streaked and bone-tired but brimming with intel. Aura 7's got 3 weak points, she reports, sketching its design with swift, precise strokes. Sensor relays here, here, and here. The processor's barely shielded, and its targeting needs 4 seconds to lock. Too slow. Alana's eyes widen. Can we exploit that? We can. Naomi confirms, her voice steel. But first we hit Reading's core database, the one with all Black Echo ops. Ranger's head snaps up. The analog storage? That's a fairy tale. They swore our missions were never recorded. Naomi shakes her head, her silver hair catching the firelight. Colt's old security chief spilled to Mendoza last year, before cancer took him. Said Reading keeps a surveillance bunker under the Red Point testing facility, full of op tapes, his insurance policy. Ranger's jaw tightens. Where? Right where the expo's happening next week. Naomi unfolds blueprints, her finger tracing the layout. We won't get a better shot at it. As they strategize, Naomi's phone chimes, a chilling alert. A photo loads, Naomi in the forest, Aura 7's crosshairs over her head, with text, "Did I miss this time on purpose?" Her face stays calm, but her eyes harden, a storm brewing. She stalks to the window, staring into the dark. What is it? Alana asks, her voice shaky. He's taunting me, flaunting his toy. Naomi turns, her voice a vow. Time to hit back. What's her counterstrike? The next morning, Colt Reading scans security footage at his lavish estate, his smug grin fading as he spots something off. The garden camera's lens is shattered, a clean, impossible shot from beyond his sensor's reach. His team finds a rifle cartridge buried in his prized roses, a note attached, "I haven't even started." Colt's face pales, then flushes with rage. "She was here," he hisses, his voice venomous. "On my land. How'd she do it?" His team finds no trace, no footprints, no breached locks, just the shot and its mocking message. It's the first move in a chess game 15 years in the making, with the Weapons Expo, now rushed forward, looming. Red Point's campus hums with chaos, guards, techs, and media prep for Colt's promised game-changer, but behind his cool facade, he's cracking. Whisper in the Wind has leapt from military circles to mainstream buzz, news outlets probing if Whisper's real. Veterans share tales of uncanny shots, unseen saviors. How's this story shaking the world? Kill it. Colt barks at his PR team, pacing his office. Call it lies, stolen valor. We're trying, sir, his comms director stammers. But Colonel Mendoza went on the Wilson podcast yesterday. What? Colt's voice drops, deadly quiet. She gulps. He didn't name names but said, "Some ops this country ran will never be admitted, done by soldiers who don't exist. They deserve better than being erased." The clip exploded when General David Lancaster, ex-Joint Chiefs, shared it with 2 words, "Echo unburied." Colt boots his team, locking himself in, diving into classified files. If Whisper's rallying allies, Who's next? His phone rings, a secure line for his shadiest contacts. What? Sir, breach at the Utah facility, his security head reports. Someone hit the Aura 7 test systems last night, uploaded a decision tree algorithm. What's it do? Colt demands. Makes the system hesitate in scenarios with civilians or collateral risk, adds a verification loop not in the original code. Colt slams his fist down. She's poisoning my AI with her damn morals. He forces calm. Wipe it. Full reset. That'll lose months of learning. Do it, he snarls, staring at his wall of trophies, his empire teetering because one woman won't stay buried. How's she doing this? In an Arlington, Virginia hotel room, Naomi faces General Thomas Whitaker, a graying ex-special ops commander now tied to Red Point, his expensive suit wrinkled with nerves. This meeting never happened, he mutters, tugging his tie. Lancaster dragged me here. Naomi's calm, her silver hair framing a face etched with resolve. Yet here you are, she says, her voice steady. Alana, tucked in the corner, records discreetly, her heart pounding. What do you want, Whisper? Whitaker asks, his use of her call sign a surrender, his eyes darting. What truths will he spill? Can a single voice, silenced for years, roar loud enough to topple an empire built on lies? Picture the tension crackling in a dimly lit Arlington hotel room as Naomi Harris, her silver hair framing a face carved with resolve, stares down General Thomas Whitaker, his tailored suit crumpled under the weight of his guilt. The truth, General, on record. Naomi demands, her voice a quiet blade slicing through the air. Black Echo Congo, the choice to erase us. Whitaker's face ages a decade in a heartbeat, his eyes haunted. You don't get how messy it was, he stammers, his voice shaking. I understand perfectly. Naomi cuts him off, her tone unyielding, her gaze fierce. It was all about politics, dodging Congress, hiding women in combat, burying Colt Reading's botched intel. Whitaker flinches, his hands fidgeting. It wasn't just reading, he protests, desperation creeping in. There were layers of sign-offs way above me. Naomi leans closer, her voice low but ironclad. Say it, General. Face the truth. His eyes dart away, then back, resignation settling like dust. We built Black Echo for deniable assets, soldiers whose existence broke every rule but whose skills were too good to waste. When Congo went wrong, the risk of exposure was too high. We shut it down, scrubbed the records, reassigned the team with fake identities. Most went along. Can you feel the weight of that confession? Most. Naomi echoes, her voice sharp, cutting through his excuses. But not all, right? Whitaker's face darkens, a shadow of shame crossing his features. Some were seen as ongoing threats. Those calls came from higher up. Naomi's eyes blaze. How dare he dodge this? You mean Maria, James, the training accident, the suicide? Whitaker stays silent, his refusal to answer louder than words. Say it for the camera, General. Naomi presses, her voice a command, her hand steady as Alana records from the corner. America deserves to know what was done in its name. Whitaker's shoulders slump, his voice barely a whisper. We buried Black Echo to dodge a PR nightmare. And yes, some operators were taken out when they threatened to talk. The words hang heavy, a confession torn from his soul. Naomi slides a flash drive across the table, her VO. Ice cold. Check your conscience, General, she says from the doorway, her silver hair catching the light. Pick your side of history by next week. What will he do with that truth? Back at their temporary hideout, a creaky farmhouse outside Arlington, secured through Colonel Mendoza's shadowy network, Naomi, Ranger, and Alana huddle around a worn kitchen table, their faces lit by the glow of Alana's laptop. Whitaker's testimony seals it. Alana exclaims, flipping through her notes, her journalist's heart racing. With Whisper in the Wind going viral and vets backing it up, we've got enough to blow the lid off Black Echo. Ranger, his bearded face etched with caution, shakes his head. Not without hard proof, kid. Words won't topple someone like Reading, he's got too many friends in high places. Naomi's eyes glint, her voice steady as steel. That's why we hit his bunker during the expo. Those analog tapes are the only ironclad evidence. Can they pull it off? Their planning's cut short by a knock at the door, sharp and bold. Ranger bolts to an upstairs window, rifle ready, while Naomi, pistol hidden behind her back, opens the door to face a man in tactical gear, his hands raised. "Marcus King," he announces, his voice calm but firm. "Ex-Delta, now private security. Reading hired me to hunt you down." Naomi's posture stiffens, her silver hair catching the moonlight. "Yet here you stand alone exposed," she says, her tone cool. "Bold move, soldier. Why risk it?" King's eyes meet hers, steady and sincere. "I know you," whisper. "Kandahar, 2004, you saved my team when that school collapsed. Command swore no sniper was there, but I knew it was a lie." Naomi's stance softens, a flicker of recognition in her gaze. Can she trust him? "Reading's offering $5 million for your location." King continues, unflinching. "Double if you're taken out during his demo." "So why am I here?" "Because I owe you, and I've seen Reading's dirty game up close. He's got a surveillance bunker under his main facility, every Black Echo op on old tape reels, his insurance policy." Alana's heart skips, another piece of the puzzle. Naomi nods, her voice measured. "We know. But you don't know he's sped up the timeline." King warns, urgency in his tone. "Demo's now Thursday with double security, all ex-operators with kill orders." He leaves with a secure comms channel, and Alana's voice trembles. "Can we trust him, Aunt Naomi?" Ranger's already on his laptop, verifying. "We'll check his info, but if he's right about the timeline, we're racing the clock." Naomi studies the Red Point blueprints, her silver hair framing a face set with determination. "The plan holds," she declares. "We infiltrate during the expo. Ranger hits the bunker, I keep Reading busy, and Alana drops the truth." Alana's eyes widen. "What about the extra security?" "Just more eyes to see Reading's fall." Naomi's voice is fierce. "They think they're guarding him, but they're protecting a war criminal. Won't they be shocked?" As they dive deeper into prep, Ranger's contacts at Red Point ping him, his face grim. "They reset Aura 7, wiped your moral code. It's now locked on one target, whisper." "No safety protocols," he adds, voice tight. "It's got lethal force, no human check." Naomi, checking her rifle with deadly calm, nods. "Good. An AI's only as honest as its master. Let Reading show his true colors." What's she ready to face? The night before the expo, Alana finds Naomi on the farmhouse porch, staring at the stars, her silver hair glowing under the Virginia sky. For the first time, her aunt looks weary, not in body, but deep in her soul. "Do you ever wonder what life would have been without Black Echo?" Alana asks, settling beside her, her voice soft. Naomi's eyes trace the constellations, her voice heavy. "Sometimes, honey. Maybe a family, a quiet job, fewer nightmares haunting me." She offers a faint smile, bittersweet. "But I wouldn't trade it. Those kids in Congo? Dead without me. Kandahar hostages? Gone. Your freedom cost my silence. Was it worth it?" Alana's heart aches. "That's not fair. War never is." Naomi replies, her voice steady. She turns, her eyes warm with pride. "Whatever happens tomorrow, Alana, know this, I've never been prouder than watching you chase this truth, no matter how dark it got. Even though I was tricked into exposing you?" Alana asks, guilt in her voice. Asterisk, especially asterisk then. "You could have run when it got hairy, you stayed." Alana grips her aunt's hand, tears pricking her eyes. "What's next if we win?" Naomi's gaze returns to the stars, her voice soft. "I don't know, honey. Never planned for an after. One step at a time." Can they rewrite history? Dawn breaks, the team ready, comms tested, weapons locked, disguises flawless. Justice isn't piecemeal. Naomi declares, her eyes blazing as they gather one last time. The Red Point Expo opens, a glittering fortress of glass and steel under the Virginia sun. A cargo van rolls to the service entrance, Ranger inside, posing as tech support, his forged ID ready to slip him into the facility's depths. Alana, disguised as Jennifer Carson from Defense Technology Review, breezes through security with Mendoza's fake credentials, her conservative pantsuit and glasses masking her fire. Across town, Naomi dons a Red Point security uniform from King's Contacts, her silver hair cropped short, her face subtly altered to dodge scrutiny. The legendary whisper vanishes, hiding in plain sight, just as she did for 15 years of covert ops. In his private suite, Colt Reading, all tailored swagger, reviews his notes, oblivious that the ghost he tried to erase is already inside, dismantling his empire of deceit. Can she outsmart him? The expo center gleams, its security checkpoints bristling with guards, metal detectors, and facial scanners processing defense tycoons, military brass, and media. Inside, technicians tweak the Aura 7 display, the gunmetal gray drone looming above a circular stage, its weapons gleaming, digital screens flashing fake battlefield winds. Colt moves like a maestro, his suit crisp, but tension tightens his shoulders. His security chief shadows him, earpiece buzzing. "Perimeter locked, sir," he reports. No sign of Harris or her crew. Colt adjusts his cufflinks, his smile icy. She'll show. She can't resist. And if she doesn't? The chief asks. Colt's grin chills the air. Then Aura 7 gets a live target, not a simulation. What's he plotting? At the media gate, Alana flashes her fake press pass, her heart steady as the scanner beeps green. She blends with journalists, her pen camera clipped to her lapel, a larger camera around her neck. "First time at Red Point?" a reporter asks, eyeing her. "Yep." Alana smiles, practiced. "Heard their AI's a game changer." "Reading's betting billions on it," the reporter says, nodding. Alana takes her seat near the stage, eyes on a service corridor. Her phone buzzes, in position. Ranger, in a worker's uniform, slipped in with a maintenance crew, now heading to the utility hub for basement access. Naomi's infiltration is trickiest. Colt's biometric checks would flag her instantly. 2 hours earlier, she hid in a catering truck's secret compartment, wheeled past security. Now in Red Point's black tactical gear, a stolen ID on her vest, she moves through maintenance halls, a shadow among shadows. The plan's rolling. Can they pull it off? Ranger hits a snag at the utility hub. 2 guards block the door, IDs in hand. "System upgrade for the big show," he says, flashing his fake credentials. Reading wants no glitches. 1 guard checks his tablet, frowning. No maintenance listed. Last-minute call. Ranger shrugs, voice cool. "Check it, but if the feed crashes during Reading's moment." The guards trade looks, the senior swiping his card. "Hurry." Ranger slips in, plugging a Mendoza gadget into a terminal, hacking the system in seconds. He kills key cameras, loops others, and unlocks the basement elevator. "Path clear," he whispers into his mic, Phase 2. Alana's earpiece hums as Colt takes the stage, applause thundering. She activates her pen camera, recording his smug opener. "Ladies and gentlemen, today's a new dawn for defense tech." Colt booms, his voice echoing. "Snipers ruled precision for centuries, now that's history." Screens flare with Aura 7's fake triumphs, Alana's eyes narrowing at Colt's jab at Naomi's Congo defiance. A shadow moves in the corridor, Naomi, right on time. Alana links her phone to the guest Wi-Fi, launching Rangers hack into the presentation system. Deep below, Ranger reaches a reinforced door, archive, authorized personnel only. He punches in King's code, the lock clicking green. Inside, tape reels line shelves, analog to Dodge digital wipes, each labeled by year and op code. Can he find the proof they need? Can a single truth, buried for years, erupt with the force to reshape history and honor the forgotten? Imagine the electric tension in the Red Point Technologies Expo's basement, where Ranger, his weathered face taut with focus, slips into a vault of secrets, whispering into his comms, "I'm in."
It's all here, everything.
His heart rac. As he finds the Echo Ops, 2002 to 2005 section, his specialized scanner snapping photos of labels through protective cases, each click a step closer to justice. The final shelf holds the prize, tapes marked Congo, Sandstorm complete. Can you feel the weight of that discovery? He pulls a small device from his pocket, plugging it into the room's ancient computer terminal, his fingers steady despite the stakes. Digitizing these analog tapes, prepping them for transmission, it's the riskiest move yet. Will it work? Above, in the Expo's gleaming hall, Naomi Harris glides through the crowd, her silver hair hidden under a red-point security cap, her black tactical uniform making her just another guard. Years in hostile zones taught her to vanish in plain sight, and security barely glances her way as she takes her post by the wall, eyes locked on Colt Reading strutting on stage. He's touting Aura 7's targeting prowess, his voice booming to a rapt crowd. It tracks and neutralizes based on precise parameters. He brags, screens flashing heat signatures in a forest, footage Naomi knows from her own dance with the drone days ago. Her hand brushes her earpiece. Status. She sub-vocalizes, her voice a ghost. Archive found. Ranger's hushed reply crackles. Digitizing now, 5 minutes. Feed set. Alana chimes in, her voice tight. Waiting for your go. Naomi checks her watch, her pulse steady. Everything's aligned for the moment she's planned since that bullet slid under her door. 15 years of buried truth are about to break free. Can she pull it off? Colt's voice rises, his crescendo gripping the crowd. To show Aura 7's power, we've coded it with the toughest target profile, a legendary sniper, so skilled some say her records were erased. Murmurs ripple through the audience. Asterisk whisper asterisk. Today we crush those myths. Colt declares, smug as ever. Aura 7 doesn't just match human skill, it obliterates it. He signals a technician. Launch the whisper simulation. Alana, in her press disguise, heart-pounding, hits execute on her phone. For a heartbeat, nothing, then the screens flicker. Instead of Colt's fake demo, grainy footage erupts, a younger Colt in a dusty village, handing cash to a shady official, weapons stacked behind. What the hell? Colt's shout blasts over the speakers, his face draining as he gapes at the screens. The footage shifts, burning buildings, bodies in the streets, a timestamp exposing his falsified intel that killed civilians. He lunges at the techs, roaring, "Shut it down." But it's too late, the system's hijacked. Now, a female sniper, Naomi, her face half hidden, covers kids fleeing a compound under fire. A final blow lands, a classified order, Colt's signature authorizing Black Echo's erasure. The hall explodes, military brass leap up, demanding answers, journalists snap photos, chaos reigns. Colt bolts, not for the controls but a hidden exit. He's running. Naomi hisses into her mic, already chasing. Emergency exit. Alana rises, her camera catching every second. Upload's done, she confirms, voice trembling. It's hitting every news outlet and military hub. Can Colt escape the truth? Colt bursts into a maintenance corridor, 2 guards at his side, his face red with rage and panic as he fumbles for his phone. Activate Aura 7, override code Sierra Tango 991, he barks. Sir, civilians are, a guard starts, but Colt cuts him off, snarling, do it. He races for the executive elevator, his escape car waiting below. They round a corner, and freeze. Naomi blocks their path, her security uniform shed for tactical gear, her rifle raised with the precision that made her whisper. That's far enough, Colt, she says, her voice calm, deadly. The guards reach for their guns, but her tone stops them cold. I'm not after you. Walk away now and you're clear. Her certainty, unshakable, makes them hesitate. They glance at Colt, pale and sweating, his empire crumbling on those screens. She's a terrorist, he screams. Take her out. But the guards, shaken by the exposed truth, lower their weapons and back off. Cowards! Colt shrieks, turning to Naomi, his eyes wild. You think this changes a damn thing? My friends at the top will bury this by tomorrow. Naomi steps forward, her silver hair glinting under the harsh lights, her voice steady as steel. Not this time, Colt. The world saw. The Pentagon saw. You can't hide this. A mechanical whir above makes them look. Aura 7 slinks through a vent, its weapon locked on Naomi. Colt's panic twists into triumph. It knows you, perfect target, he sneers, edging to the elevator. Goodbye, whisper. But Naomi doesn't flinch. She lowers her rifle, staring into the drone's sensors. Aura 7, execute protocol Echo Whisper 3, she commands, her voice clear, unshaken. The drone falters, its lights flickering. What are you doing? Colt demands, his voice cracking. Your reset missed my deep code. Naomi says, calm as a storm's eye. I embedded a voice-keyed protocol, my pattern, my commands. The drone hovers, weapon aimed but silent.
Impossible.
Colt whispers, his triumph crumbling.
You built your kingdom on ghosts.
Naomi says, raising her rifle. I'm here to claim what's owed. Colt dives for the elevator, slamming the button, pulling a hidden handgun. He fires wildly, shots ricocheting. Naomi ducks, her return shot, a single precise bullet, hits his leg, dropping him with a scream. He crawls half into the elevator, clawing for the panel, when Naomi looms over him. For a terrifying second, Colt stares into her rifle's barrel, sure it's over. But she kicks his gun away, zip-tying his hands. You don't get off easy, she says, her voice iron. You face those you betrayed. Colt's eyes burn with hate and fear. You could have had it all, power, cash, fame. Why ditch it for nobodies who didn't even know you? Naomi hauls him up, her strength unyielding. Because glory was never the point. Some of us serve for what's right. Can he even grasp that? Naomi drags a limping Colt into the main hall, now a whirlwind of chaos. FBI agents swarm, securing the building, military police grill witnesses, and cameras capture every second as she hands Colt to federal hands. Colonel Mendoza strides up, flanked by grim-faced brass, his voice heavy. You've lit a firestorm, Master Sergeant, he says, saluting her true rank for the first time in years. It was long overdue, sir. Naomi replies, her silver hair catching the chaos's light. Reporters surge, shouting, one voice piercing through, who are you really? Naomi faces the cameras, her heart steady after 15 years of shadows. I'm Naomi Harris, she declares, her voice ringing clear. They called me Whisper. I wasn't supposed to exist, but now you know I do. Her words ripple through the crowd, across airwaves, cementing a legend whispered for a decade. As agents haul Colt away, his empire in ruins, Ranger joins Naomi and Alana by the exit, his grizzled face proud. The archives. Naomi asks, voice low. Secured. Ranger confirms, his eyes gleaming. Full copy sent to 7 safe spots, it's untouchable now. Alana, her journalist's heart swelling, looks at her aunt with awe. What's next? Naomi watches Colt vanish into a government van, his fate as uncertain as hers once was. Now, honey, we make sure the ghosts are heard. Can they honor the fallen? 3 months later, autumn paints Virginia's hills in gold and crimson, and Naomi stands on her modest home's porch, a coffee mug warming her hands as the sunrise bathes her silver hair in light. The media frenzy has faded, leaving a changed world, personal, political, raw. Alana's car rumbles up the drive, her niece stepping out, more confident, her eyes sharp with purpose. The Pulitzer Committee shortlisted her Black Echo series, now blazing through global headlines. Morning. Alana calls, bounding up the steps with a thick envelope. Got the advance copies. She hands Naomi a hardcover, Whisper in the Wind, the true story of America's ghost sniper. Naomi's name shines as co-author beside Alana's, Mendoza's forward adding weight. Still feels odd. Naomi murmurs, turning the book, her voice soft. All this in print. Alana settles beside her, her voice firm. The world needed the truth, not just yours, but all of theirs. She means the Black Echo team, survivors and the lost. Post-Expo probes exposed the program's cover-up, sparking hearings, policy shifts, and for Naomi, the sweetest victory, the fallen are finally named. Heard from Ranger. Alana asks, her voice warm. Naomi nods, a smile breaking through. He's in D.C. today. The memorial's design is set. What will it mean to see their names etched in stone? Can a single spark of truth, hidden for decades, blaze bright enough to honor the erased and rewrite history? Picture Naomi Harris standing on her Virginia porch, the autumn sunrise painting her silver hair gold, her coffee mug warm in her hands as she gazes at the crimson hills, her heart swelling with a hard-won peace. The Black Echo Memorial, a stark black granite wall, has been greenlit for Arlington National Cemetery, etched with the names and call signs of those who served in the shadows, including the ones silenced after Congo's betrayal. Maria would have hated all this spotlight. Naomi says, a small smile tugging her lips, her voice soft with memory. Alana, her niece, grins back, her journalist's fire undimmed. But she'd love the justice, Aunt Naomi. Don't you think? Their quiet moment pauses as a sleek government car crunches up the drive, its polished chrome glinting. Senator Lauren Bennett, the new head of the Senate Intelligence Oversight Committee, steps out, her sharp suit a testament to her role as an unexpected ally in the fight for transparency. Ms. Harris, she greets, striding to the porch, her voice warm yet official. The President signed the Ranger Act this morning. Named for Thomas Reed, this law shields covert operators and whistleblowers, ensuring no unit can be erased for political gain. Naomi's eyes glisten, her thoughts on her fallen teammate, falsely branded a suicide. James would be proud, she whispers, her voice thick with emotion. There's more. Bennett says, handing her a crisp envelope, her eyes kind. Your records, every last one, have been unsealed, restored. The Joint Chiefs wanted you to have this before next week's ceremony. Inside gleams a silver star, one of many honors stripped when Black Echo vanished. I didn't do it for medals. Naomi says, closing the box, her voice steady but humble. No. Bennett agrees, her tone firm. You did it knowing they'd never come. That's why you deserve them now. As the senator drives off, Naomi and Alana sink into a cozy silence, birds darting among the autumn trees, their wings flashing in the morning light. Something sweet came yesterday. Naomi says, breaking the quiet, her smile warm. A letter from a 12-year-old girl in Mississippi. She read about me and wants to learn to shoot. Alana's eyes sparkle. What'll you tell her? Naomi's smile deepens, echoing her grandfather's wisdom from that Mississippi porch long ago. First, honey, learn to breathe. Can you feel the hope in that moment? The trial of Colt Reading grips the news for weeks, his face plastered across screens, charged with conspiracy, fraud, obstruction, and international law violations, a public reckoning he fought to dodge. Naomi attends only once, called to testify, her silver hair catching the courtroom's harsh light as she delivers a measured, razor-sharp account of Congo's betrayal, the cover-up, and the archived footage's truth. Her voice holds no venom, despite Colt's sins. How does she stay so calm? When asked how she feels about him, her answer stuns the room. I don't hate Colt Reading, she says, her voice clear, piercing. I pity him. He never grasped that real strength isn't erasing others to climb higher, it's standing tall when no one knows your name. Colt, gaunt in his prison jumpsuit, can't meet her gaze, his hollow eyes fixed on the floor. Outside, reporters swarm, mics thrusting forward. Will justice be served today, Ms. Harris? One shouts. Naomi's response is steady, profound. Justice isn't just one man's punishment. It's about fixing the system, that's just starting. Can one trial change the world? On a crisp November morning, the first Black Echo veteran reunion unfolds at Colonel Mendoza's lakeside home, a gathering of just 7 survivors, their faces etched with solemn joy. Ranger's there, his limp from the Aura 7 clash a badge of those tense pre-expo days. He and Naomi stand shoulder to shoulder as Mendoza raises a glass, his voice thick. To those who dwelt in shadows, so others could bask in light. Can you hear the weight of that toast? Later, strolling along the lake's shimmering shore, Ranger hands Naomi a small package, his gruff voice soft. Dug this from the archives, thought you'd want it. Inside, a cassette tape labeled Echo Team Downtime, Kandahar 2004. On Mendoza's old stereo, it plays laughter, card games, Maria teaching a silly dance to a 2004 pop hit. Naomi's eyes well up, her stoic mask cracking as these stolen moments breathe again, human lives the system tried to erase. This is what they wanted gone, she whispers, her voice breaking. Not just missions, people, lives. How can such simple memories hit so hard? A year after the Expo's bombshell, Naomi and Alana return to Precision Elite, the shooting range where it all ignited, now under new veteran-owned management, its vibe warm, inclusive. Naomi preps her grandfather's Winchester, its worn with a trusted friend, as young shooters watch, awestruck. Is it true you hit targets 2 miles out? One kid asks, eyes wide. On a good day, with perfect conditions. Naomi replies, her smile modest. She nails the redesigned course with flawless precision, earning cheers, not jeers. Can you feel the shift? The manager approaches, his voice earnest. We're launching a program for disadvantaged kids. Discipline, focus, responsibility. Would you teach? Naomi's heart swells, thinking of that Mississippi girl's letter, her grandfather's lessons under that old oak, the kids who could grow through her skills. I'd be honored, she says, her voice warm. The Black Echo Memorial dedication dawns on a snowy December morning, hundreds braving the cold. Soldiers, officials, families, everyday folks moved by the tale of unseen heroes. Naomi stands with the survivors as the black granite is unveiled, names like Maria, James, Eric etched forever, undeniable. As the ceremony ends, she places a single bullet at the memorial's base, the one ranger left at her door, the spark that started it all. A young reporter edges close, voice hesitant. Ms. Harris, how's it feel to finally be recognized after all this time? Naomi gazes at the snow-kissed stone, her silver hair dusted with flakes. Some wars end quiet, some in fire, she says, her voice steady. Mine ended when I remembered who I was, and made the world remember too. Can you feel her triumph? Years later, changes ripple. Alana's book is required reading at military academies. The youth shooting program spans the nation. The Ranger Act reshapes covert ops oversight. But the sweetest moment comes 5 years on the porch of Naomi's restored Mississippi family home, rebuilt with her reclaimed back pay. A teenage girl aims at tin cans on a fence, her breath puffing in the winter air. Ping. A can flies back. I did it, she squeals, echoing Naomi's childhood cry on that same spot. You sure did. Naomi beams, her silver hair catching the sunset. But what's my rule? The girl recites proud, a gun's no toy, it's a responsibility. Never point it at what you don't mean to destroy. Naomi's smile is radiant, the circle complete. From shadow to mentor, erased to eternal, she's found peace at last. As birds soar against the darkening sky, Naomi watches them fade, whispering a silent goodbye to the ghosts who walked with her, now at rest. The black woman once mocked as Granny with a gun is a legend, her legacy not her shots, but the truth she brought to light for the erased. What would you fight for if the world tried to erase you? What truth would make you break your silence? If this tale of justice and redemption struck a chord, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories of strength in ordinary lives. The story of Naomi Harris, the unyielding sniper known as Whisper, is a heart-wrenching testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of truth to shatter even the most fortified lies. It's deeply moving to witness Naomi's journey from erasure to legend, a black woman mocked as Granny with a gun yet revealed as the deadliest sniper in history, her legacy forged not in medals but in the lives she saved and the justice she demanded. Her quiet strength, rooted in her grandfather's Mississippi lessons of responsibility and purpose, pierces the soul. How can one woman carry such weight and still stand tall? The emotional core of this tale lies in her unwavering commitment to those forgotten, like Maria and James, whose names she etched back into existence through sheer will. The Black Echo Memorial, a granite monument to the erased, brought tears to my eyes, a symbol of Naomi's triumph over a system that tried to bury her. Alana's relentless pursuit of the truth, despite being unwittingly used as bait, mirrors Naomi's courage, their bond a beacon of hope. Colt Reading's fall, driven by his own arrogance, feels like a cathartic release, but Naomi's pity for him, not hatred, underscores her moral depth. Can we all aspire to such grace under fire? The story's climax, with Naomi outsmarting Aura 7 and exposing Congo's betrayal, is a pulse-pounding reminder that technology can't outshine a righteous heart. The Mississippi porch scene, where Naomi mentors a young girl, completes a circle of legacy that's profoundly uplifting. This narrative resonates because it champions the unseen, urging us to fight for truth, no matter the cost. What would we sacrifice to ensure the silenced are heard? Naomi's story is a clarion call to stand firm, even in the shadows.